This is the ENGWE L20 2.0. What stood out to me right away is how confidently it moves through real traffic, and how comfortable it stays over rough city streets and broken paths without beating me up. I would describe it as a compact, foldable, fat-tire electric bike aimed at riders who want a practical daily commuter that can also wander off the pavement. If you need something that fits in a small space, can go from errands to park paths, and still feels sturdy under a full day of riding, this hits that sweet spot. I am 6 feet tall and I fit it comfortably, and I would feel good recommending it to people a bit shorter or taller because the saddle height has a lot of adjustment, and the step-through frame makes mounting easy even with a backpack or a jacket on. The design choices matter in daily life. The frame feels solid, and the 20-inch by 3-inch tires add a lot of stability. They roll smoothly over cracked sidewalks, wet grass, and light gravel, and they do a lot of the comfort work before the suspension even kicks in. The front suspension fork takes the edge off potholes and curbs, and the suspension seat post genuinely helps on longer rides. When I hit a big bump too fast, I could feel the fork bottom out with a small thud, but it never felt sketchy or out of control. It is a hardtail, so there is no rear frame suspension, but the combination of big tires and the seat post does more than I expected. The bike is not tiny in person. A lot of folding electric bikes look small in photos, but this one has presence. The rear rack is sturdy, and the front rack mounts to the frame instead of the fork, which means it does not turn with the handlebars. That felt odd for the first minute, then it disappeared, and it actually makes sense for carrying a basket or a small crate because the load does not flop around when you steer. Setup was straightforward. I unfolded the bars, latched the central hinge, flipped the pedals, checked the tire pressure, and tightened the brakes. The folding process is quick and feels secure. Folded down, it fit into the back of my sport utility vehicle without drama. I would not call it light. With the battery in, it is around 60 pounds, but for the power and the tire size, that weight is expected. The battery slides out from under the saddle, and the latch is easy to reach. I pop the seat up with the lever, pull the battery out, and bring it inside. It charges from empty to full in about 5 to 6 hours, and the battery itself feels closer to 10 pounds, so it is manageable to carry up a flight of stairs. On the first ride, the takeaway was torque. The 52-volt, 13-amp-hour battery paired with the motor gives a punchy launch from a stop. I was skeptical of the claimed power rating on paper because numbers can be generous, but the seat-of-the-pants feeling is real. With just the throttle, it goes up to about 20 miles per hour without fuss. Pedaling with assist on a flat straight, I saw over 28 miles per hour on the display, and it still felt stable. That quickness matters when you are merging into traffic or crossing a busy intersection, and it makes hills less of a chore. The motor is not whisper quiet. When I push hard on a climb, there is a noticeable whine. It did not bother me, but if a totally silent ride is your priority, keep that in mind. The control setup is simple. The color liquid crystal display is bright enough for daytime riding and easy to read at a glance. I get speed, distance, battery bars, and pedal assist level, and the buttons for power, plus and minus, are obvious even with gloves. The headlight is integrated, and the tail light brightens when I squeeze the brakes. The headlight is fine for being seen and for short night rides, but if I were riding dark suburban roads for a long distance, I would add a brighter independent light. The brakes are mechanical disc brakes. They stop the bike, though they require more squeeze at higher speeds compared to hydraulic setups. Cables stretch a little over time, so I plan to give them a quick adjustment every couple of weeks, especially because I ride hilly routes. Let me talk about how it feels in real use beyond that first day. On mixed surfaces, the bike stays planted. The wide tires grip when I cut across a patch of loose gravel to avoid a puddle. Hop up a curb, no big deal. Potholes are still potholes, but the fork and the seat post soften the hit enough that I do not brace for impact. With a backpack strapped to the rear rack, the balance remains steady and the frame does not waggle. I carried a small bag of groceries on the front rack, and while it looks odd at first because it sits on the frame, it does not affect steering, and that is the point. The step-through frame helps if I am loading or unloading bags because I can step on and off without swinging a leg high over the back. Speed and responsiveness are where this bike surprised me. The throttle has a clean ramp-up, not jerky, and the pedal assist engages quickly once I start spinning the cranks. There is enough torque that stopping on a steep short hill and starting again does not feel like a gamble. I never had to stand up on the pedals unless I wanted a little extra workout. At higher speeds, there is a quirk with the gearing. It uses a 48-tooth chainring and a 14 to 28-tooth cassette, which means once I hit around 20 miles per hour and higher, my legs start to spin faster than I would like. That ghost pedaling feeling is real. I still get assist, but if I want to contribute meaningful pedaling effort at 25 miles per hour and above, I run out of gear. For commuting, I can live with it. For fitness riding at high speed, I wish for a slightly taller gear. Range is always a question. The company quotes a big number in the lowest pedal assist setting. In my actual rides with frequent stops, lots of throttle use, and some hill climbs, I saw anywhere between about 22 to roughly 32 miles before I wanted to recharge. If I kept it in the lower assist levels and stayed conservative, I could stretch that further, but the bike is fun to ride with assist, and that is how I used it. For most daily commutes and weekend errands, that real range is perfectly workable. Charging at home overnight is simple, and the removable battery means I do not need a power outlet in the garage. There are a few smart touches I appreciate. The folding pedals save a little width when parking it in a hallway. The cable routing is tidy, so it does not catch on bags. The saddle is comfortable out of the box. The rear rack feels like it is meant to carry real weight, not just for show, and the fact that the taillight brightens under braking adds a little safety for dusk rides. The display and control layout are beginner-friendly. If you are new to electric bikes, the difference between pedal assist and throttle is clear. Pedal assist gives you a boost only when you pedal. Throttle lets you ride without pedaling at all. I switch between them depending on whether I want to sweat or just cruise, and that flexibility is what makes an electric bike worth owning. I put it through a few real scenarios. Morning commute through downtown with stoplights every block. It launches cleanly, brakes predictably, and threads through tight spaces without feeling twitchy. Afternoon run to the grocery store with a couple of hills and a rutted alley. The motor strength keeps momentum, and the suspension takes the sting out of busted pavement. Weekend ride to a park with mixed paths, grass, gravel, and cracked concrete. The wide tires float over it all and the handling feels relaxed and easy to control. On a longer stretch of smooth trail, I pushed it into the high 20s and focused on keeping my line. Stable, no wobble, just that ghost pedaling once the speed creeps up. I also like that unlocking the battery is simple. Seat up, battery out, no fuss. It is a small detail, but when you charge indoors every day, you feel it. The frame latch inspires confidence when folded and when unfolded. There is a solid clunk when it locks and no creaking under load. I did notice the motor noise more on long climbs. It is a higher pitched whine that gets louder as you ask for more power. I got used to it, and the wind noise at 25 miles per hour tends to drown it out anyway, but it is worth mentioning. If you want a specific use case, picture a daily commute of 8 to 10 miles each way with a couple of hills and rough patches. Leave the house with the battery full, a messenger bag on the rear rack, and a coffee in a small insulated bottle strapped down. Use throttle to clear intersections quickly, pedal assist level 3 or 4 for flats, and bump it up a notch for hills. At the office, pop the battery out and top it up under the desk. Head home the long way through the park, take the gravel path just because you can, and then finish with a steady cruise back on the street. That is how I have been using it, and it fits that routine beautifully. To wrap it up, this is a comfortable, confidence-inspiring foldable electric bike that blends real power with practical design. It is not featherweight, it is not silent under hard load, and the gearing could be taller for high-speed pedaling. The headlight is serviceable but not amazing, and the mechanical brakes ask for occasional adjustments. On the flip side, it folds quickly, carries cargo without drama, launches hard when you need it to, and stays smooth over the kind of busted pavement many of us ride every day. If you want a dependable commuter that can also handle light off-road shortcuts and the occasional weekend wander, the ENGWE L20 2.0 deserves a serious look. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment with your questions or your own riding experience. Thank you for watching.